I want to talk with you this afternoon about the 3 keys to relational success in the workplace. In many ways, workplace success and job success is dependent upon the quality of the relationships we have with our coworkers. Relational success is not only important in the workplace, it's important to life itself. And relationships affect the quality and performance of our lives in many ways, some that we understand and some that we're not aware of. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to relational success in the workplace is that there is no we without me. This highlights the importance of taking care of myself as an individual. Every job involves some sort of a task. We're doing something for the company. But ultimately, our doing flows out of our being. What we do flows out of who we are. And so the better the person that we bring to the task, ultimately the better the task that we will do for the company. Relational success is very important, and it depends in a great deal upon me being the best person and bringing the best person I can to the workplace. This involves some very basic things. It's important that we get enough sleep. It's important that we eat a healthy, balanced diet. Exercise is often very important to managing our bodies and keeping ourselves fit, not only physically but mentally. So the better that I take care of myself, then the better of a person I bring into the workplace. And that affects the quality of my relationships, which ultimately affects the quality of the work that I do. So there is no we without me. Take care of yourself. Do things that build yourself up and that strengthen you as an individual so that you can bring the most of yourself and the best of yourself into the work environment. Knowledge is power, and self-knowledge lies at the basis of all knowledge. So the ultimate power that we have is the knowledge of ourselves. And the more we know about ourselves and the more we're able to then exercise effective control of our lives and building our lives up in a positive way, the better we will be at relating to those in the workplace, and the more productive and enjoyable the tasks that we perform at work will be. Now, the second thing I want to say about relational success in the workplace is that relational success means that we have to bring our whole selves to the workplace. We need to bring both halves of our brain to work. There's been much research done on the different parts of our brains, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. Research has shown that the left hemisphere of the brain tends to control the reasoning processes, tends to control our ability to think analytically, our ability to think critically and carefully about problems and to solve problems through the use of reason. These are very important skills that many people use every day. Most of us use every day at some point, especially in the workplace. However, that's not the only part of our brain. We have a right hemisphere of the brain which controls the imagination and creativity that we bring to our lives. The more integrated that our brains become, and the more that we bring both our rational and critical faculties as well as our imaginative and creative capacities, then the more whole we become, and the better able we are to bring our whole intelligence to the problems that we face and to the tasks that we're given to do in our workplace. And also, we bring that same level of holistic intelligence into the relationships that we have with coworkers and others in the workspace. Studies have shown that children are generally far more creative. In one study done where people were tested on the creative uses of a pencil, children were able to come up with, in general, 10 times more creative uses for a pencil than were adults. Children would look at that pencil and see, well, if you put wings on it, you could use it, fly it around as an airplane. Adults tended to be much less creative. So when it comes to relational success in the workplace, the more of our minds that we can bring to the task at hand, the more satisfying and the more effective we will become at doing those tasks. We need to apply reason and logic and analytical abilities to the problems we face and to the tasks we do, but if we also can bring some imagination and creativity, then we are bringing more of our full intelligence to the workplace. And this will also help us to deal more effectively with those that we work with. Now, the third thing I want to talk about when it comes to relational success in the workplace is that we need to develop our emotional intelligence. There are basically four parts of becoming and enhancing our emotional intelligence. First of all, we need to learn how to define our emotions. This is not easy if we're not generally self-aware. We may not even know what we feel or be able to name it. But when it comes to naming an emotion, that begins to give us a power over it and begins to strip it of that mysterious sense that we are just being controlled by something beyond our ability to even understand. So the first thing we must do to cultivate emotional intelligence is to learn to identify our emotions, and also, as we identify and learn to understand identify our own emotions, we begin to become familiar with those emotions in others. Once we have identified it, we accept it. Emotions just are. We accept that they are, then we begin to try to understand them. Maybe the boss's anger, maybe the manager's anger, maybe that coworker's anger is a sign that there really is something wrong that needs to be addressed in our part of the company. And then beyond understanding, we also want to manage, because emotions have tremendous power, which also means that they have the power to tear down the relationships that are so vital to our performance at work. So there you have it, the three keys to relational success in the workplace. There is no me without we. Take care of yourself as an individual. Bring the best you into the workplace. The second key to relational success is to bring your whole brain to work, both your analytical and imaginative powers, your rational and your creative powers. And then finally, become an emotionally intelligent person. Learn to identify, to accept, to understand, and ultimately to manage your emotions and to understand the dynamics of the emotions of your coworkers and those around you. These things, if done, will increase your productivity and will ultimately make the workplace a more enjoyable environment for you and for those around you.